Namaskar and welcome to Sunset Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our show House Highlights, where we bring you details of the day's development in both houses of parliament. Let's begin with the headlines first. With the approval of the upper house, Parliament passes the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021. Bills extend the tenure of directors of ED and CBI from 2 years to 5 years. Lok Sabha takes up discussion on supplementary demand for grants, second batch for 2021-22. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman likely to reply on Wednesday. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu appeals to protesting opposition members, says repeated disruptions violate the rights of other members who wish to raise issues of public importance, urges them to resolve the issue of suspension of MPs with the government. And during question hour in Lok Sabha, Leader of Congress in the House, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, raises the issue of Universal Basic Income Scheme. YSR Congress member Avinash Reddy asks if agriculture is becoming financially expensive for farmers. Let's first take a look at the developments in the upper house. The Parliament passed a bill to extend the CBI director's tenure for a maximum of 5 years from the present 2 years. The upper house passed the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 by voice vote. The bill amends the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. The Act provides for the appointment of Director of the Delhi Special Police Establishment, that is CBI. Lok Sabha had already cleared the bill on 3rd of December 2021. Replying to the debate, Minister of State for Personnel Jitendra Singh said the amendments will streamline the process by fixing the term for 5 years that was not specified in the earlier laws. The minister said a fixed tenure will bring down pendency of cases as well.
That the methodologies of crime have undergone a change. New technologies have come in. And the relevance of the head of the crime agency or the investigation agency is that many a time, quite a lot of information is privy only to him in person. So in the middle of an important case, if you change the head of the agency, others may not be able to carry it forward in the same tone and tenor. There is confidentiality involved, there is rapport involved, particularly when there are the international ramifications also of this. And moreover, we are also now part of the financial task force. And therefore, I think in certain situations, we need to have extension of the head of the agency. Otherwise, it could rather be counterproductive. Just imagine if an important case is halfway and the head of the agency changes, it might benefit the person who is against whom the prosecution or against whom the interrogation is proceeding. So in order to bring it to a rational and a logical conclusion, the upper limit of the tenure may have to be extended to maintain the independence of this.
Now, the opposition staged a walkout in the upper house during the discussion on the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 on the suspensions issue. The members urged the government to ensure time-bound investigation by the CBI and reduce the pendency of cases. Members cutting across party lines took part in the discussion.
Now, this tenure for stability, for proper regulation, has to be regulated. And that regulation is, as per Supreme Court directions, the tenure has to be minimum 2 years. Rather 2 years, not minimum, but we are making it minimum 2 years. And extension by a high-powered committee that is presided by the Prime Minister, Chief Justice of India, and LOP.
While supporting the bill, we would like to bring to the notice of government through you, sir, that the action of these organizations should be independent, should be fair, should appear to be fair as well, and should also ensure that there is no corruption by functionaries of that organization themselves.
CBI has to take up many cases like that. Therefore, need some consistency in that period also. Therefore, giving 2 years, it may be there at the time. Now, Minister says 5 years it can go, but 1 year extension is there. And also with the consultation of the opposition leader, ruling party, Honorable Prime Minister, Chairman, and also constitution body. Like that, there is a, they cannot, Central cannot appoint as they like. There is a democratic way Modi government is doing this thing. Therefore, he has brought this bill.
समय सीमा के अंदर उसकी उस आयोग की जो कमी है उसको पूरा करते हुए समय सीमा के अनुसार निर्णय लेने का काम करे, जांच को पूर्ण करने का काम करे, तब ये इस आयोग के बनाने का समय सीमा बढ़ाने का कोई मतलब होगा.
Pending cases has to be given speedy inquiry, and within a stipulated time it has to be completed. Another thing, sir, time limit for organization 2 years and above, which has to be analyzed by the government, and within a stipulated time again, not exceeding the maximum time, the cases has to be completed.
This is the call of the hour for the bill, sir. It is better to strengthen the CBI more, sir. Particularly, extension of the tenure of CBI official for further period, which is very important, sir.
The Upper House passed the Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021 by voice vote. The bill extends the tenure of the Director of Enforcement Directorate from 2 years to 5 years. Lok Sabha had passed the bill on 9th of December. Union Minister Jitendra Singh said the term of the ED Director has not been extended but fixed for a maximum 5 years to ensure that the position is not misused.
Countries should have in place processes to ensure that the staff of these authorities maintain high professional standards, including standards concerning confidentiality. I underline confidentiality, and should be of high integrity and be appropriately skilled, end quote. As I said in the opening remarks, the continuity, the rapport, and also the confidentiality of the information to which the head of the ED is privy to have a very critical role to play. In the middle of a very critical or a crucial investigation, if the head of the director or the head of the ET or the director's tenure comes to suddenly an end or abrupt end, the beneficiary may be the person against whom the interrogation was happening, because the entire information by the interrogating officer may not have been shared even with his peers. And therefore, that is in the interest of arriving at judicious conclusions.
Several members cutting across party lines took part in the debate on this particular bill. Let's listen in.
इसलिए इश्यूज की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी जितनी ज्यादा हो, समझने के लिए भी समय ज्यादा लगेगा, और इसीलिए ज्यादा समय एक व्यक्ति को मिलता है तो उसका लाभ वो पद को होगा जिसके ऊपर वो बैठा है. सर, ये FATF ने भी कहा है कि ऐसा चीज होनी चाहिए कि ऐसी व्यवस्था बनाइए, एक इंस्टीट्यूशन भी होनी चाहिए. इंस्टीट्यूशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. One will deal with this. So under the PMLA, the institution is executive, the enforcement director, ED. So institution is ED. But institution alone will not be able to function unless there is a person sitting on the institution. So we can create a sound, robust institutional mechanism. But if you fail to put a right person in that place, even it will fail.
However, Modi government, when they brought the money laundering and other thing, that given importance to the ED, Enforcement Director, for that role, for that to enable him to act without partiality, impartially to function. For that, brought this, giving the extension of not more than 5 years, within 5 years only, and also following the same process.
हमारी पार्टी का पूरा सपोर्ट जो है माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार को है और आज का जो बिल लाया गया है भ्रष्टाचार को खत्म करने के लिए उसका हम समर्थन करते हैं।
संस्थाओं को अस्थिर करके आप प्रशासन को पारदर्शी नहीं बना सकते हैं। जो एक महत्वपूर्ण पक्ष मैंने हुवर का उदाहरण देकर मैंने कहा, माननीय जितेंद्र सिंह जी ने अनेक देशों का उदाहरण दिया, मैं उसको दोहराना नहीं चाहता हूं, लेकिन जो एक पक्ष रखना चाहता हूं कि भ्रष्टाचार का सबसे बड़ा असर हम नहीं होते, मध्यम वर्ग भी नहीं होता है, उच्च वर्ग भी नहीं होता है, असर तो पड़ता है, लेकिन भ्रष्टाचार का सबसे बड़ा असर वो गरीब आदमी होता है, वो मेहनतकश होता है, जो खेतों में काम करता है।
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said the 12 suspended members of the upper house have refused to apologize for the unruly conduct. He added that the disruptions by the opposition in the house are only compounding their offence. Referring to the stalemate between the government and the opposition on the issue, he said both sides need to talk and find a solution.
I can tell you, honorable members, with all humility I want to tell you, let us maintain decency and decorum in the house. And this sort of pressure is not going to work either on me and the government leader of the house. He met me. I discussed with him. I discussed with LOP and the deputy leader also. And then they said if they regret, the members who have done this, then government is willing to reconsider. That is the position. You know that I can't go beyond that. And moreover, by unruly sins, unparliamentary behavior and obstructing other members and then trying to force is not going to work at all. You are not going to help them. Please understand, if you want to strengthen their hands, be in their respective seats, follow the rules and then plead their case or your case. Then that can be taken into consideration. But if you violate the rules and if you do slogans and then you do all sorts of these things, gesticulating and then sit on the well of the house, you can't expect anybody to respond to that. So everybody, this side or that side has to follow the rules. Go by the rules and precedents of the house. I am bound by rules. I am bound by precedents.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu conducted zero hour for a full hour on Tuesday despite some opposition members protesting in the well of the House against the suspension of 12 members. He said the rights of other members must be upheld. Taking part in the proceedings, member Rakesh Sinha said the role of 15 women representatives in Constituent Assembly should be celebrated during the 75 years of India's independence. MNF member K. Vanilavena raised the issue of Myanmar refugees and through a special mention, member Kiruril Almina urged that the cow be declared as national animal. He said his demand is beyond religious considerations.
मेरा इस सदन के माध्यम और आपके माध्यम से भारत सरकार से आग्रह है कि अमृत महोत्सव के अवसर पर इन 15 उन सदस्यों को जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली की सदस्य थी, इनके ऊपर मोनोग्राफ्स पब्लिश किए जाएं, इनके ऊपर सेमिनार किए जाएं, जिससे भारत में जो महिलाओं की सशक्तिकरण, महिलाओं की राजनीति में भागीदारी की बात कही जाती है। तृतीय विश्व के देश में भारत ही एक ऐसा देश है जिसमें संविधान सभा में 15 महिला सदस्य थी।
धन्यवाद राकेश जी, आपने अच्छा विषय ध्यान में लाया। मैं चाहता हूं सरकार उसके ऊपर ध्यान दे। ये महत्वपूर्ण सुझाव है। जो महिला संसद संविधान सभा में सदस्य थे और उन्होंने अपना योगदान किया, ऐसा महिलाओं का बारे में अलग सम्मान इस आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव के संदर्भ में होना चाहिए। ये उनका सुझाव है, अच्छा सुझाव है। आप नोट करके कंसर्न मंत्रालय से बातचीत करके देख लीजिए।
There are about 15,000 Myanmar refugees in the state of Mizoram. due to the Myanmar military coup. These refugees are scattered everywhere in the state of Mizoram. Some of them are living with their relatives. I am requesting the Indian government to help all these Myanmar refugees, even though India is not a signatory of the refugee. Being the biggest democracy in the world, it is our duty to help our neighbors who love democratic rights and principles.
Recently, 8 persons were killed and 50 others were reported missing after they were washed away in gushing water after Annamaya project breached near Rajampeta in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The Annamaya project was receiving inflow 3.25 lakhs cubic of flood water as against its capacity of 1.40 lakhs cubics. Sensing the danger and severity of the situation, the state government should have acted in a time-bound manner. There is a controversy with regard to the accident is concerned, so the matter is very sensitive. It also involves safety and protection of the public at large. Therefore, I request the central government through you, sir, to conduct an independent investigation by the central government team and fix the responsibility who are the responsible for the negligence of the state government.
A bill to give effect to such inclusion of this community in the list of scheduled tribes was introduced in the 15th Lok Sabha and 16th Lok Sabha, sir, but could not be passed on both occasions and the bill was lapsed. Therefore, sir, I request the Honorable Minister of Tribal Affairs and the Government of India to kindly take necessary steps for including the Narikurava community in Tamil Nadu in the scheduled tribe list.
जो अनुसूचित जात SC ST के छात्रों के मिलने वाली छात्रवृत्ति से संबंधित है, पूरे देश में SC ST के छात्रों की छात्रवृत्ति समय से मिलने के कारण अधिक से अधिक वर्ग के लोग शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बढ़ चढ़कर शिक्षित हो रहे थे, लेकिन जब से वर्तमान सरकार आई है तब से SC ST के छात्रों के साथ में अन्यायपूर्ण व्यवहार करते हुए उनकी छात्रवृत्ति बंद कर रखी है। श्रीमान जी, आपसे मेरा निवेदन है कि जिन छात्र छात्राओं के साथ में अन्याय हुआ है उन्हें न्याय दिलाया जाए और जल्द से जल्द मेरी आपके माध्यम से सरकार से यह मांग है कि SC ST OBC के छात्रों को जल्द से जल्द छात्रवृत्ति जारी की जाए। धन्यवाद।
Let's take a short break here, and on the other side of the break, we'll bring you details of the day's developments in Lok Sabha as well. Stay tuned. Lok Sabha today took up discussion on the supplementary demand for grants second batch for 2021-22. Let's listen into some of the key speakers in this discussion.
This is a government-made disaster, Mr. Chairman. And so the fact is that the current proposed supplementary allocation of rupees 22,039 crores reveals how the government continues to grossly underestimate the importance of NREGA as a lifeline, sir, a lifeline to rural India. And it remains 50% short of expert estimates that have been saying for a whole year now that we need at least 50,000 crore rupees to meet the current levels of demand for NREGA due to continued rural distress in our country.
टर्न अराउंड प्लान में वो भी CAG की रिपोर्ट है और CAG की रिपोर्ट पूरे देश में पढ़ना चाहिए कि उस टर्न अराउंड प्लान के बारे में CAG ने कहा कि तुम पैसा कूड़े में फेंक रहे हो, इससे कोई एयर इंडिया की हालत नहीं सुधरने वाली है। लेकिन हम लगातार कोई ऐसा बजट नहीं है। सभापति महोदय, हम और आप एक साथ जो है सांसद रहे हैं, 2009-10 से कोई ऐसा साल नहीं है, कोई ऐसा बजट नहीं है, कोई ऐसा सप्लीमेंट्री डिमांड्स ऑफ ग्रांट्स नहीं है जिसमें कि भारत सरकार ने 1000, 1500, 2000, 3000 करोड़ रुपया एयर इंडिया को नहीं दिया।
The Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary, has stated that the collection from the levy of central excise duty on petrol and diesel increased from 1.78 lakh crores in 2019-20 to 3.72 lakh crores in 2020-21. This is April 22, April 2022, March 20. The total amount of tax given to state governments from the corpus collector under the central excise duty for the year 2020-21 is only 19,973 crores. The remaining money went to the center.
And if I may say so, without mentioning any individual's name, it's only 3-4 people in India, 3-4 companies which are reaping the benefit of this government. In the name of liberalization, they are handing over the country's economy assets. They are selling the family's silver. Ultimately, the Adanis will have all the airports, Tata will have Air India.
The way the GST demands are made, the way people are raided, I'm even hearing some data that people are put behind bars because of GST. Now, what is the truth of this? And are we putting people in jail? This is the new fashion that just threaten, put them in jail. Jail is not going to resolve these situations. So is the GST collection only on paper, or are we really collecting? If you could kindly clarify. And if you're really collecting, why aren't the states getting it? And then why is this GST tax terrorism going on?
चप्पल से लेकर चपाती तक में ग्रामीण इलाकों में बढ़ोतरी देखने का काम किया गया, जिससे पूरी की पूरी अर्थव्यवस्था स्वाहा हो गई है। अब इसी बीच छाती पीटते हुए, थाली बजाते हुए एक हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था को और खत्म करने के लिए एक बहुत ही कठोर लॉकडाउन लागू किया गया। उस समय लाखों प्रवासी मजदूरों को एक बहुत ही घातक और बहुत ही कठिन पदयात्रा पर वापस अपने घरों की तरफ भेजने का काम किया गया।
And if you take into account the surplus from RBI, which is around 50 to 52,000 crores, I just wish to know what would be the figure of the borrowings. I'm asking this because Omicron has entered into the country, and as many as 40 cases have already been reported from various corners of the country, with the first death reported from the UK yesterday globally. Will this lead to another lockdown and economic turmoil? I do not wish so, but I would like to know how the ministry perceives the coming months may kindly be known to the House.
Sorrowful picture that the poor people of the country are facing. We know, sir, the condition that is existing in the COVID days and the fuel price hike, and also now in the global hunger index, India has taken place. Nobody can deny.
जो सरकारी जो एदाद शुमार है स्टैटिस्टिक्स है, उसके मुताबिक 5 अगस्त 2019 में जो फैसले किए गए आइन के खिलाफ, उसके बाद 1050 के करीब एनकाउंटर्स हुए हैं। 500 के करीब जानें चली गई हैं। और जनाब हर साल, क्योंकि इसमें होम पर भी एक इजाफी जो भी मुतालबा किया जा रहा है, तो हर साल जम्मू कश्मीर में सड़कों पर अमन कायम रखने के लिए, LOC LAC पर अमन कायम रखने के लिए 8000 करोड़ रुपए का खर्चा होता है।
Sir, the PSC reiterated the need for a scrupulous scrutiny of the budget proposals, rigorous monitoring of expenditure, and strict compliance of the finance rules to eliminate the possibility of excess expenditure or underspend and wrongful appropriation. Sir, proper planning and effective monitoring mechanism is highly essential to have a disciplined budget system.
पैसा देने की जरूरत है। मैं अपने महाराष्ट्र का उदाहरण देता हूं। 93,000 एकड़ वक्फ की जमीनें हैं महाराष्ट्र के अंदर, और उसे देखभाल करने के लिए महज 23 लोगों का स्टाफ है। वो जमीनों के ऊपर हम कोई अपना घर या अपना महल नहीं बनाना चाहते हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि उन जमीनों के ऊपर हम स्कूल्स बनाए, कॉलेजेस बनाए। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर साहब, हमने इसी सदन के अंदर खड़े रहकर यह मांग की थी कि मुसलमानों के हज की एक मिनट मुसलमानों के हज की सब्सिडी कैंसिल कर दे।
During the question hour in Lok Sabha, Leader of Congress in the House, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, sought a reply on the possibility of Universal Basic Income Scheme. Member Y.S. Avinash Reddy of YSR Congress also wanted to know if agriculture was becoming financially expensive for farmers.
यूनिवर्सल बेसिक इनकम प्रोग्राम लिया जाए, जैसे कि हमारे पार्टी की न्याय प्रकल्प की तरह अगर यूनिवर्सल बेसिक इनकम ये स्कीम लिया जाए तो गरीबी उन्मूलन में ये काफ़ी सहायता मिलेगी।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, 2014 के बाद से गरीबी उन्मूलन की दिशा पर हमारा ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय लगातार काम कर रहा है, जिसमें मनरेगा पहले से चल रहा था, प्रधानमंत्री आवास ये भी गरीबी उन्मूलन के अंतर्गत आता है। गरीब को जब पक्की छत मिल जाती है। दूसरा, गरीब को सड़क चाहिए, स्वास्थ्य चाहिए, शिक्षा चाहिए, चिकित्सा चाहिए और काम चाहिए। उसके तहत गरीबी उन्मूलन के तहत समूह की बहनें भी काम कर रही हैं।
What strategies and what innovative solutions does NAIP suggest, and also to help farmers to come out of these distress conditions? Will the government of India pass minimum support prices act in parliament?
भारत सरकार के द्वारा कई स्टेप उठाए गए। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में सबसे बड़ा पहला काम कृषि के सुधार के और इनकम बढ़ाने की दृष्टि से और अन्य चीज़ों को लेकर जिस तरह से काम किया गया, पहला काम कृषि का बजट बढ़ाया गया। जहां कृषि का बजट पहले 21,000 करोड़ रुपए होता था, उस स्थान पर अब कृषि का बजट 1,23,000 करोड़ रुपए कर दिया गया है। और इसके साथ ही MSP के अंदर भी 2016 के अंदर आप सबको संज्ञान में है कि MSP के अंदर 1.5 गुना किया गया। किसान सम्मान निधि के तौर पर इस देश के अंदर किसानों को किस तरह से संबल मिले, इस दृष्टि से 11 करोड़ किसानों से अधिक किसानों को किसान सम्मान निधि के तौर पर 1,60,000 करोड़ से अधिक राशि किसानों के खाते में पहुंचाने का काम किया गया है।
That's all we have in this edition of House Highlights. We'll come back again tomorrow with the details of day's proceedings in both houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Till then, keep watching Sunset Television. Thank you.